Hey guys, Kelsey Baczynski here. I'm one-star diamond coach with Beachbody, and I'm here to share with you how I plan my week and my month. So I actually look at my month as a whole. I always start there. I always think, what do I have coming up? Do I have a wedding? Do I have a big event to go to? Is it my birthday month? What kind of things are going to be thrown my way this month that might throw a loop into how I eat? So I always think big picture first. Okay, if you're going to focus day by day, you're going to run into troubles. So the best thing you can do is, what is your month looking like? Go by month. So first, that's what I do is I have a binder and I write down kind of my plan for my fitness, but I also write down any big events that are coming up in my schedule that might affect my eating. Once I've done that, I start to think, okay, so if this week has no big events happening, it's a basic week, I can start planning based on that. I know that on Fridays, we like to often go out, Fridays or Wednesdays, now that I moved home, and we like to just have a meal out at the restaurant in town. And for me, I usually try to pick something that's nice and clean and fresh, maybe a tossed salad with chicken breast cut in it. Sometimes I get a chicken burger. It's a grilled chicken burger. It's an actual chicken breast with lettuce, and I put mustard, and I keep it really basic. Okay, so sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes I'll have a rice bowl. Again, it's super basic. I get the sauce for the side. All those kinds of things I think of ahead of time. So usually what I do is I think, okay, Friday is going to be our date night. Friday we're going to go to the bar for supper, and I'm going to have one of my meals that I already know is clean and healthy for me, but I also know that it has a little bit more carbs than I normally would have at supper time. So I plan accordingly. I plan based on what special things I would like to do in my life each day. This is going to lead into tomorrow's topic. So what we're going to do is we're going to then take something like this. So I keep this right on my fridge, and it's just a magnet schedule that I've done for Monday to Sunday. I just got a Dollarama for $1, and I break it down to 3 things. Usually there's a red marker on here as well. So it's lunch, supper, and snacks. So I actually write down for my husband as well what kind of snacks are available that are ready in the house just to grab and go. So what I do is I think, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are my main focus. What am I going to eat those days while I'm at work or out and about, or what am I going to do so it's already ready? Even when I'm living at home full time, I have my meals planned. If I'm going to make a lunch for my husband, I might as well make one for myself so I stay in track as well, because it's easy to eat bad when you are home and you can pick weight things or have something really quick or whatever, and it's usually not what's best for you. So it's best to plan ahead. So for example, on Monday, I have stir fry, and a stir fry, a banana, and I take plain Greek yogurt, 0 mg. I get the Liliberte brand. It's low calorie, but it's also high in real food. So if you actually look at the ingredients, it has 5 or less ingredients, and they're all natural. And that's what I look at when I'm buying anything. It has to be 5 or less ingredients. It has to have no artificial anything. So I have to know what it says. So I usually have that with steel cut oats and a teaspoon of honey. So that's what I take for my day for work. So that would be lunch, snack, whatever I need to work, that's what I eat. Okay, and then for supper time, I would then think, okay, so if I had stir fry at work today, that's a little bit more carbs than I normally would take, because I would put rice with my stir fry. So then for supper, I might opt to have chicken breast or a steak or something like that with a steamed vegetable. Steamed vegetables keep more nutrients in your food than when you boil them. So always steam your vegetables. Put them in a pot, put a lid on it, cook it on low, they'll steam nicely. So that's what I do, and I put some pepper on them just for some flavor. So I'll have that with a meat. And if that's not good enough, I'll have a salad as well. And I keep that really simple. I get the spring mix, organic spring mix from Walmart or Superstore. I have that with a hard-boiled egg often cut into it. So that's what I'll have for supper. So you see, I've ate my carb for lunch, and I've ate clean for supper without a carb. So I balance it out. I find that I have more energy in the evening and throughout the day if I eat my carb for supper, or for lunch, sorry. And actually, scientifically, your body actually can break down those carbs and use them better if you have them at lunchtime. carbs are what gives your body energy. They break down into a sugar, a certain sugar that gives your body the energy it needs to move and perform. So if you are working an active job, or you're often on your feet, or you find yourself tired at work, eat your carb for lunch instead of supper. That will help you, because you really don't need that energy after supper. Most people eat between 5 and 7:30 at night. If you're eating by 7:30, I mean, you're going to be winding up for bedtime by 10, and it's okay to have a late night snack if it's a vegetable, but you really don't need those carbs. So I always recommend having your carb at lunchtime versus supper time. However, sometimes I plan for a carb for supper. So for example, on this one, I have steak and potatoes for supper on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, I think, okay, if I'm having potatoes, which is a carb, for supper, I need to have a non-carb lunch. So I like to keep it nice and simple. I still have my little bit of carb in my oats with my snacks. So I usually take the Greek yogurt, oat, honey mixture every day for a snack. So I still get that little burst in the morning. Plus my Shakeology gives me that burst of extra energy. So that helps me throughout the day. But still, I always recommend having your carb during the day instead of supper time. But sometimes we like to have our carb at supper. So I always plan ahead, and those days I make sure that I'm ready so that way I can eat supper between 5 and 6:30, because the earlier you can eat those carbs, the more likely your body is going to break them down and use that energy better. So I always recommend, if you're having a carb supper, eat it a little bit earlier than maybe you normally do. All right, so that's the kind of things I start thinking about. I write my schedule down. I don't make it real complex. I keep it nice and simple, right? I just wrote down stir-fried rice, simple. Okay, so that stir-fried obviously is going to include like carrots or broccoli or cauliflower, whatever you like to put into your stir fry. I already know that. I know those are fresh vegetables. I don't need to write all those things down unless I'm writing out a grocery list. Okay. How I find my meals, if I'm not sure exactly how to make a clean eating meal, what I do is I go onto Pinterest and I type in 21 Day Fix approved recipes. All of these recipes are based on clean eating portions and clean eating recipes. So the sauces, everything is going to be your cleanest eating option. So that's what I do absolutely always. So I guess that's how I plan my week. Now, if I had a week that had, say, a wedding on Saturday, on Thursday and Friday, I kind of plan my meals so they are a little bit lower calorie, not so sufficient, but I eat more lower calorie food. So I don't eat less food, I eat more lower calorie food. For example, I would eat celery sticks throughout the day. I would fill my body, get my nutrients levels up, but they're very low calorie. I might eat, I might be having a wrap instead of a sandwich for lunch, for example. Okay, I might be going and looking at the calories and picking a lower calorie option to go with my meal, so that way on Saturday, because I know that meal is going to be higher in carbs, then my carb intake the 2 days before was a little bit less. So I kind of prep my body for it. I kind of plan so I know that it's not just going to be an overeat. My week as a whole has been well and healthy. So that's kind of what I do to prep it. I do consider it a cheat day, and I definitely take one of those every week. Usually when I go to the bar, I do have a drink or two with supper, and I always eat a healthier supper with it, because that's important. Just because you're eating bad or having a bad snack or having a drink doesn't mean that it's okay to eat bad at the same time. So I always think as a whole. How's my health as a whole? So it's kind of how I plan my week. The other thing I do is I plan snacks for the week. So things that can be ready in the fridge that are easy to grab. This helps me and my husband, because when we come home from work, or we are around the house all day, depending on our schedule, or we're home in the evening and I'm working on coaching stuff, or I'm working on teaching stuff, or whatever it might be, it gives me just that easy to go kind of snack that I know isn't going to throw me off my meal plan. I know it's not going to affect my success, and I know it's going to make me feel good. It's going to give my body what it needs to be successful and to be fueled. So that's what's really important, is fueling your body. It's not about losing calories. It's not about losing weight. It's not about looking a certain way. Honestly, when it comes to clean eating, it's all about fueling your body and giving it what it needs versus what you think you want. Your body works, it's biology. Okay, so your body needs exactly what it needs to function. That's it. It doesn't need anything else. So that's what I've been focusing on learning and just kind of putting into my own life and seeing how it affects me. So my personal experience has been the weeks that I'm really on with my meals, I have way more energy and I feel really, really great. The weeks or multiple weeks when I don't do it, I feel really run down. I see a lot of extra flubber coming on because my muscles aren't able to stay toned as long. For example, I haven't been eating as well lately, and my arms used to be pretty toned. When I would go flex, you could see it, but because I have not been eating as good as I could be, my muscle tone goes away and my skin gets nice and loose again. That isn't because you're not in shape. That's because of what you're eating. That's where lots of the misconceptions come in. We think that our eating is about the fat, but our eating is so much more. It's about your muscles and your organs working properly, your digestive system working, fueling your body so you can think and focus. And I instantly see changes in my body, the way my skin is and how my muscles work based on I'm eating. When I am eating really well, my skin tightens up and I can see abs. When I eat bad, even though I'm still working out, it goes loose. And that's just because of what I'm eating. So eating is so important. You'll see so many slogans in different workout videos or different fitness places that says your abs are actually created in the kitchen. So my advice for you today is to either pull out a piece of paper, go to Dollarama, get some kind of whiteboard, I don't know, whatever you have around your house, and make something like this and plan out what you're going to eat for this week or this month, whatever you want to tackle first. That's what I do. So figure out what you have going on this month and then start planning your week. And try it out and then post below so we can talk about where you're struggling, what you need help with, what you're planning on eating, because that is super important. And then we can share ideas and where we got those ideas from. I can't wait to do this with you, ladies. Bye.